Guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be discussing palettes, but more specifically I am going to be addressing what I believe to be the best warm tone palettes and the best cool tone palettes, because I know that a lot of people, they don't think that they look good with necessarily warm tones or cool tones, what's better for their complexion and everything like that. So for me though, I just buy what I like, and whether it looks good or not, I probably just don't care. So whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. I do have 5 of each, so that's a total of 10 palettes. I'll be going through them one warm, one cool, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to keep it more interesting. So if you are interested in seeing what I consider to be the best warm and cool tone palettes, keep watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to keep this crazy train going. I love you all, and let's get to it. The first cool tone palette that I have is from Kat Von D, and that is her Interstellar palette. Now this palette is still in her permanent collection. I was going to include her Monarch palette in my warm tone, but that has been discontinued, so I did not want to include a palette that we can't get anymore. This is what it looks like, very standard for Kat Von D. Now what I like about this and why I consider this such a phenomenal cool tone palette is usually when you deal with warm and cool tones, you are thinking neutrals, browns, taupes, creams, you know, the neutrals that we all love every day. But what I like about this is that you have these neutral shades and the ones up here, but you also have these wonderful pops of unique color. This purple, you have the black to really smoke it out, this beautiful metallic silver, these ones here. It's just a very unique palette in the sense of you can create a very easy day-to-day look, but also if you want to do something a bit more interesting, fun, girls' night out, etc., you can also achieve that with this palette. Also, the quality is amazing. I absolutely love Kat Von D shadows, so if you are a cool tone lover who is looking for something a little more fun, then I highly recommend picking up the Interstellar palette from Kat Von D. Onto a warm tone palette. I knew that I would have to be including at least a couple of these in this video, and these are the Too Faced chocolate bars. Now I was actually really surprised because I thought for the warm tone I would be including the regular chocolate bar, but when I compared it to the semi-sweet, I actually found that the semi-sweet, at least in my opinion, was more warm toned than the original one. So I don't know if that's just me. Let me know down in the comments which one you think skews more. For the sake of this video, it's in the warm tone. I love this palette very much. This is definitely a go-to neutral palette for me. Very warm. You've got this beautiful peanut butter shade. I love this blue here. Once again, you've got a black to really deepen it up and everything like that. You have this beautiful butter pecan here that I actually like using as a face highlight, and this beautiful brow bone shade. It is a wonderful palette. Too Faced does not have my favorite eyeshadow formula, but they are very good, and this is definitely a wonderful warm collection of colors to suit someone who leans toward this kind of scheme of colors. And staying on that Too Faced train, we have the Too Faced Bonbons palette, which is a Cool Girls Wonderland to play. When this palette came out, I was so excited. I'm all about that crazy cutesy packaging as this one has, the heart-shaped whatevers and everything like that. And the packaging, just absolutely adorable. Love this palette, and I love the colors in it. Kind of the same with that Kat Von D Interstellar palette is the fact that you have these beautiful neutral shades, satin sheets, once again, that makes for a great highlight even on your face. But you also have these really fun pops of color. You have black currant, let's see here, Totally Fetch, and Cotton Candy, which are very fun, not the most pigmented shadows in the world, at least for those ones. The other ones are fine, but the bright colors, not so much. But if you're leaning more towards something that you want to be neutral, then you don't have to be too frightened off by these colors. They are just absolutely beautiful. This Earl Grey shade is phenomenal. I love this. Anytime I need an absolutely gorgeous, cool toned blue, I reach for this color. Definitely recommend this palette, part of Too Faced's permanent line. If you like cutesy and you like cool toned, go for this baby. I would probably be an idiot if I did not include this particular palette in the warm tones, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. I am completely obsessed with this palette. It is probably in my top 5 favorite palettes, if not top 3. I love this. I find that I actually probably do lean more towards warm shades, especially burnt orange, red, things like that, and this has that in no short supply. I absolutely love this palette. It is a wonderful palette for beginners, for people who just want to add to their makeup collection. It has like this section here for nice neutral looks, and then you can really punch it up with these colors. And the colors, although they may seem a little bit extreme, they are very wearable, blend like a dream. I love this palette so much. I use it a whole bunch. It is phenomenal and probably my favorite out of the warm tone palettes that I'm showing you guys here. It is part of Anastasia's regular permanent collection, so if you want to get your hands on this, if you're a warm loving gal, this is your jam. Amazing quality, absolutely love this palette. Now it really isn't a neutral palette video unless we include some Urban Decay Naked, the staple in neutral palettes. This is the Naked 2, the taupe edition, and this is definitely, the brush is going to fall out, the cool toned version of its brothers and sisters. This palette, I must admit, is my least favorite of the 4 that are out, but it is still a beautiful palette, especially if you are looking specifically for cool tones. I do reach for this one on occasion. Just because it's not my favorite doesn't mean I don't like it. It is absolutely stunning. If you are a matte heavy person, steer clear of this palette because most of the Naked palettes are pretty heavy in the shimmer and satin territory. But I absolutely do enjoy using this palette, especially on clients who prefer cooler tones and things like this. This looks absolutely stunning on brides. I love it so much. It is beautiful and it is very good quality. Urban Decay can be somewhat hit or miss with their palettes, but I feel like these were made way before they started really missing the ball a lot. So if you are a cool tone person and that is what you lean toward, definitely go with the Naked 2. It is really nice. And on that same side of the spectrum, we have the original Naked. This one, I definitely gravitate towards more. I love how at the beginning of this video, I was like, I don't think I gravitate towards more cool or warm, but I definitely do gravitate more towards warm colors. I love the spectrum of this, palette. I absolutely love this gray here. Once again, if you are a matte heavy person, stay away from this palette because there are only 2 mattes right here and the rest are satin or shimmers. So keep that in mind. Go into stores, swatch them, see what works for you. But I absolutely love this palette. It's very versatile. You can create a lot of really nice looks. You can create some very light looks and also really with these colors down here, deepen it up and intensify. It's not a very exciting palette, I would say, simply because it doesn't have a bunch of pops of color or anything like that, but that's okay. This is a very wonderful day-to-day, everyday wearable palette, which definitely has its place in the makeup collection. Quality on this is good, same with the Naked 2. I do like the quality of the Naked palette. Some of their other palettes are a little hit or miss, but these ones I find that they all perform absolutely well. So if you're in the market for a Naked palette but skew towards warm, go for the original Naked. And keeping on that Urban Decay kick, if you are a matte lover and you're interested in something from the Naked range, I would go for the Naked Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics. I love this palette. As soon as I saw pictures of it, I knew I absolutely had to have it. I love the spectrum. I was most drawn toward this shade here, this one, and these 2 right here. The rest, this row right here is kind of not very exciting because they're somewhat similar, but I love this palette, especially the fact that it's all matte. All matte palettes are really making a a Come In. Kat Von D is kind of the end-all be-all all matte palette, but this one is phenomenal as well. It is all cool toned. I feel you get a good range to make some nice neutral looks, but you can also, like I said, deepen it up here, add some of the more color ones here. You've got some nice brow bone or eye primer setting shades. It's a very good cohesive palette in my opinion. The quality is good. I find that although the quality may not be as on par with the original Naked, it is still very good, probably only a 5% difference. I absolutely love this palette and I love the shades, and I do get a lot of use out of it. This is probably one of my most used cool tone palettes that I own. So if you are looking for that cool tone, or you're just a Urban Decay eyeshadow palette junkie, Naked Basics Ultimate. And here we have on the warm spectrum, this is the Lorac Original Unzipped. I know there is a gold edition, but I chose to include the original here. This is what it looks like. Just some very beautiful, beautiful rose tones. I absolutely love this palette. You get 4 mattes and 6 shimmers, satins, whatever. The quality of these shimmers is absolutely amazing. It is like dealing with pressed pigments. They are so pigmented, smooth, and beautiful. These are also phenomenal. They pack a punch. Same with the Lorac Pro formula. Very easy to work with. A little bit powdery. These ones not so much because they're so intense and pressed down and pigmented, but these ones, I love this palette. I find that it is amazing that you can have such a great similarity between the colors, but can also create very different looks. I absolutely love these last two on the line here. This one is a amazing all over shade. Basically all of these are amazing all over the shade, and they work well in the crease as well. I love this palette. It is a beautiful warm tone palette, perfect for, I always wear this in the fall. It's just absolutely stunning. So if you're on the fence about these, I would say both this one and the Lorac Unzipped Gold are phenomenal quality, and they are beautiful eyeshadow palettes. And lastly, for the cool tone is the Lorac Pro 2. This is a phenomenal palette. I love all of the Lorac Pro palettes. If you guys saw my favorite eyeshadow formula videos, you would see me singing the praises of these palettes to heaven and back. I love this. I've got a very big dip in Nectar. I absolutely love that. This is not as used as my Lorac Pro 1, but it is still very loved. There's a long time where I was just using this and the Lorac Pro 1. Phenomenal palettes. I love the fact that in this one, like with the Kat Von D, you get your cool toned neutral shades, but you also get these fun colors, this green, the purple, the blue, you've got the slate gray and the black, and you've got a bunch of different crease shades, and the fact that you have a row of mattes and then a row of shimmers, I think is a phenomenal way to do a palette, because you have an even you have an even spread between the finishes, so that it's a very easy palette to use. They are a bit powdery. I know a lot of people have issues with that, but you're getting really crazy pigment and they blend beautifully. I love this palette. So when you're in the market for the Lorac palettes, definitely take into consideration whether you like cool or warm tones, or if you're just buy whichever one that you like. But this one is phenomenal and I love it. Then last but not least, we are ending on a warm note. Another from Lorac. If you notice, there's a lot of similarities between these. It is the Lorac Pro 3. When I found out that they were coming out with this, I was like, yes, I need to have this in my life. And I love this palette so much. It is so warm and rich and oh my goodness. And I feel like it has, although it is not as versatile in my opinion as the Lorac Pro 1 and the Lorac Pro 2, it still has its place. Especially when you have a beautiful color like this mustard shade. It does have the jet black like all of them do, and this is one of my favorite black eyeshadows. You've also got the gray. These ones are fairly similar, but I find that it is a very good palette. I find that the quality is also the same as the original Lorac Pros. I love this palette. I don't have enough good things to say about this. The Lorac formula is one of my favorites. I know there are some mixed feelings about this on YouTube, but definitely just go into store, swatch it, see what you think. But in my opinion, I think this is a phenomenal addition to any collection, to anyone who likes warm tone shadows, and you do get those unique shades as well as the overall neutrals. So it is a very versatile palette in my opinion, if not as versatile as the original two. You can't have everything, but it is a beautiful palette. Well guys, there were my favorite or best cool toned and warm tone palettes. Let me know if one of these is your favorites, or if you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments. Let's start a discussion, but don't be mean. Nobody won't like that. Be mean to me, but not the people in the comments. You know what I mean. So, thank you guys for watching my video. Please, as always, like, subscribe, and do all that. I love you guys. We'll be uploading more videos. Don't forget to check out my shopping haul and my monthly April favorites videos. And I will see you next time, guys. Keep it real.